Hey everybody! So I know that this isn't exactly on topic, but I just kind of want to share something with you guys right at the start of the video. The other day I was playing on my computer and I was, just messing with a sprite, and I came out with this design, right? Let me see if I can show it to you guys a little bit better here. It's a panda, in case you're wondering. I like the design so much I made it into a sticker, and it's just kind of nice. It's just kind of nice to see something that you created take a physical form. I'm pretty excited about it, so I just wanted to share with you guys that I created a sticker. That's all. But we're talking about Pokemon today. Pokemon Journeys came out on Netflix. Even though it's been out, the Japanese version has been out a while already, and I believe they're like around episode 24 or something. I found it particularly odd that Netflix decided to upload part 1 of Pokemon Journeys, or as it's known in Japan, just Pokemon 2019 or whatever. That they uploaded only 12 episodes, which is really strange for the Pokemon anime to just upload the first 12 episodes. Because part 1 of Sun and Moon was at least 40-ish episodes, if I remember correctly. But I have been looking forward to this for a really long time. I don't really play on the piracy sites too much, simply because I just hate going through the ads. It's really the reason why I kind of just wait to see something on Netflix or Crunchyroll or Hulu or regardless. So I finally checked it out. I do remember some of the rumblings about Pokemon, this new Pokemon anime, back a few months ago when it first came out. Boy, oh boy, these Pokemon animes just get better and better. I know that there was already an attempt at reinventing the wheels way back during the Black and White series, and they kicked it up a notch with the X and Y series. It wasn't until Sun and Moon where they really just started throwing things at the wall and just having fun with their experimentation. I love Pokemon Sun and Moon, the anime. I especially love the Japanese version with the opening song. It is one of my favorite songs out there. And then there's also the experimentational movies that came out with the Pokemon I Choose You, which is fantastic. I loved it. I haven't seen the Lugia one, the one that follows afterwards. I haven't seen that one yet, and I've seen some of Mewtwo Strikes Back in CG, 3D, whatever, and I liked it for the most part. I initially intended to make a video on it, and just kind of never got back to finishing the movie. But particularly, I was really just interested in Pokemon Mewtwo Strikes Back. The new one that came out, just because Netflix had offered it in its Japanese version, and I've always been curious about checking out the original one in Japanese, but I always had trouble finding it. I never was able to watch it, and I know that there are some scenes that are cut out in the 4Kids version. But yeah, so anyways, Pokemon Journeys, God, man, they really just stepped it up. I mean, just from episode 1, where we get an introduction to the characters, but just not in your stereotypical way. They really went about it in a different way. I felt like episode 1 was a movie. It was like one of those like pre-Pokemon theatrical releases, the ones like with when the Pokemon are at the play park, and during the first movie, and then like the Pichu story for the second movie. I felt like I was watching one of those with Pikachu's origin story. I thought that was fantastic. I also thought that it was great that Ash almost met Go and the girl, I haven't learned her name yet. But he overslept, and I like how they kind of made that into a running gag that he just doesn't know how to wake up on time. I thought it would have been easy because they made Pichu into such a likable character in this first episode. I thought that it would have been easy for them to retcon Pikachu and Ash's meeting as this lovable Pikachu, because that's what we saw when Pichu evolves into Pikachu at the end of the episode. I thought it would have been easy for them to just go ahead and write a lovable Pikachu, just because they've already done that, you know. And no, they kept it, and I admire their commitment to this Pokemon canon that is loose as hell. And then this whole concept about the show about Ash and Go going to different regions and not necessarily focusing on Galar like we have with the previous iterations of the anime, where they focus on that game generation's region. I was a little bit like, well, how are they gonna do this? I don't quite get it. And to kind of see it, it's like they're trying to pull a little bit from Pokemon Go with Go. As there's a whole episode just dedicated to him just catching all of the bug-like Pokemon in the Kanto area, and I think it was pretty obvious without them having to say that it was Viridian Forest. Shoot, he even caught a Scyther, which was really cool. And then following up this episode where Go spends all this time catching these Pokemon, to have them go to the Hoenn region in episode 8, if I remember correctly. And they have like this little mini competition where Ash is telling him, no, battling is really fun, and Go doesn't quite get it. And so when Go starts the starts his first Pokemon battle, he is immediately crushed because he doesn't focus any time on training or battling. He hasn't really had any experience with battling, which I really liked, just because we've seen where his priorities are just in the previous episode. He's all about catching. He's the personification of Pokemon Go, I guess. I don't know, I like it though. And then at the end of the episode, he sees the thrill of battling with Ash having won that, and you know, just how strategic he was when he battled the biker gang archetype character. It was really cool. I think it really just separates the two characters, Ash and Go, and has us see where they are as trainers. So for a long time, we have wondered, what does Pokemon Master even mean? And they even addressed it in this show when they ask him, so what's your goal? And then Ash says that he wants to be a Pokemon Master. And so they ask him, like, so you want to be the #1 trainer? He's like, no, it's not quite that. I mean, it's intentionally vague for the sake of keeping the story going as long as they can. But we see now that, because Ash has gotten ripped on for a long time because he doesn't catch as many Pokemon. He befriends them, and he has a very selective team. He doesn't just go out like Go and just catch everything in sight. And we ripped on him for that. And so we actually get to see a trainer behave like this, and it's a nice separation of what these two characters can look like. You know, there's this focus of Ash being a focused trainer in battling. His strengths aren't in catching and filling up the Pokedex. His is in cultivating a team with friendship and and trust and stuff. And I'm not saying that Go doesn't have any of that, because clearly his Pokemon all love him as well. We see that in the episode where he's sleeping with all of his Pokemon that he just caught at the end of the episode, where he goes out and catching everything that he can see in sight. I like that there's this separation between these two characters, and then there's this whole thing about Ash and Go, you know, really becoming friends that can trust one another. And I say this in that, you know, there's clearly some problems that Go has with making friends. You know, it's addressed with the friend who is the daughter of the professor that they're staying with, that she's like the only one that really understands him and knows how to connect with him. And then comes Ash, and he becomes that second person. But it's kind of like hinted and it's subtly shown that he isn't very social with other people. And then of course there's in the first episode where the girl tells him that he doesn't have a lot of friends because he kind of acts like a know-it-all, and we've seen that, and I guess that's really the reason. But then in the second episode where or is it the third episode, where Ash and Go are on their first task, and he says like, well, I didn't ask for a friend like you either. They say that to one another, and Go responds by saying something like, you're just like all the others. So there's a story that's going to be told there, and I'm looking forward to it. I really want to see where that is, why it is that he is the way that he is. But I think that all of that just stirs for the purpose of Ash and this kid really forming a tight bond. And of course it's Ash. I mean, he forms bonds with everybody and anybody that sticks around in the show. And then there's Scorbunny. God, I love Scorbunny. I haven't really loved a starter Pokemon as much as Scorbunny since Oshawott. The introduction of Scorbunny is so endearing. Just the way that he chases after Go, and he clearly is trying to get his attention. He has so much affection for Go before they're even together as a team. And of course it's super crushing when Go tells him no, because the first Pokemon that he wants to catch is Mew, which is really dumb. How are you gonna catch Mew without a Pokemon on hand? I don't know if they really even thought that one through. But nonetheless, I really just love the inclusion of Scorbunny, and if there were to have anybody be on the forefront of the main cast of this new series, I'm so glad that it is Scorbunny. I'd like to see the other ones join also, but at least for now, like, I think that Scorbunny is an amazing inclusion. He also just shows that he is a rookie Pokemon, in that he doesn't know how to Go and Scorbunny haven't really figured out how to work as a team the way Pikachu and Ash have. And I mean this in the episode where they're catching Pokemon and Scorbunny can't keep himself from making noise and scaring off the Pidgeotto that they were trying to catch in the moment, or any of the other Pokemon that they were trying to also catch. It just really feels like this show is trying to do something different, and it's not really a secret. I mean, they've been trying to do something different since long before. Pokemon Sun and Moon was just all about hanging out in one center location. It was more slice of life in that way, and I really appreciate the show for that aspect. And of course later on it becomes more story focused, but yeah. This one I don't know. And then there's the whole Lugia scene. That was awesome as well in episode 2. Have you guys checked out this show? What do you guys think about it? I really like it, and I think that I'm gonna finish watching whatever's offered on Netflix, and I'm probably gonna go check out the rest of the episodes that are available, just because I've been having so much fun watching the show. For now, I am going to go edit this video and upload it for you guys to watch it. Let's have a conversation in the comment section. Have you guys seen the show? What do you guys think about it? Which one is your favorite Pokemon series, if you have one? I know that for a lot of people, they can't watch the anime. I know that my friend Arthur, he doesn't like Ash. He can't stand him as a character, but that's one person. I happen to like Ash, and I adore Pikachu. So we'll talk later. Bye, John.